Folks, and welcome back to Thames FC with me, Dr. NGFM, and we are back for another season in the Championship. Lots of transfers have gone down. If you saw the transfer special, you'll know about a few of them, but since then, there's been plenty more, and we've played plenty of games as well. We currently sit 9th in the Championship, but let's first then talk... What's this? Oh, let me tell you. So, for the entire series, you've seen these kits on the screen, but have you seen the kits in real life? In actual real life? It says Dr. Benji on the back and everything. I mean, could I be any happier? It says scenes on the collar. Hashtag scenes on the collar. And they actually now exist in real life. Amazing. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much. The guys at Tribefire, they deserve the credit. I mean... Oh, yes. They are still available. Lots of people should, if you've already ordered one, you'll be getting it in the next couple of weeks. But, I love it. Ellie got one too. A lot of people are asking what the material's like. The material is like a football shirt material. A little bit softer, I would say. But generally speaking, yeah. Love it. Absolutely love it. It might be the coolest thing I've ever done in regards to YouTube and stuff. Like, I love it. Okay, let's talk through the I planned that. I don't know if that was obvious. So let's start with the release players then. Again, if you've seen the transfer episode, you'll know a few of these, but I'm running through for those that didn't have time or couldn't watch it. The big news really is that Mohamed Owusu has left as a free agent and is no longer at the club. Had 3 very, very good seasons with us, but since sort of our step up towards the Championship especially, he's not featured ever so much. It wasn't really a factor in League One because, of course, we had Ulster and Pat Rogers. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Other names that you might recognise, Wolfenden's gone as well. Elliot Holmes, Owen Evans was here. Paul Colton was a player that we saw a lot of. He's gone to Portsmouth. A good home for him, I think. 3 solid years at us. Last season was significantly worse than the other 2, though. Despite getting goals and assists, still wasn't putting in the shift you'd hope for a player of his standard. You can see he did far more in less games in League One. The Championship may be a step too far for him, but we wish him well. There's a few other names in there that you might recognise, the likes of Lewis Ramsey, Thomas Hughes, Ben Cousins, of course, has also left the club, currently without one. He's been a bit part player, really, but when he's featured, he's always done all right. So we wish him well as well. He's a good little player. A League 2 club would love him. So then, with all those released players, there must have been some outs, but did you sell anyone? We did. Gary Davis, goalkeeper Gary Davis, has left the club, gone to Norwich for £200,000, brought in on a free transfer, had a bit of an indifferent season. This was secretly kind of always the plan with Gary Davis, to move him on for money if we could do. I knew when I signed him he was a pretty good player for us at the time, but he moves on. Kenny O'Neill has also left on a free transfer. West Brom picked him up. I don't really understand it either. And then we see a bevy of signings. Now we'll start in order, shall we? 3 loanees have joined the club. A few guys have carried on from last season as well, mainly Robbie Edmund and Tom George that you will certainly recognise. But Joe Holmes, the centre-back from Liverpool, has joined us and is improving all the time. Currently 3.5 stars according to the star ratings, and I think to have him even at 17 next to Robbie Edmund, our centre-back partnership all of a sudden is much, much stronger. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does for us this season. I think you look at that there and think you've got yourself a player there, Ben, and I would agree. Skarif Kasongo. Now there's an interesting story with Skarif Kasongo. If you watch the live stream again, you won't know he's here. We had a left back injury, so I had to bring someone else in, and I actually think this guy might arguably be better than the player we brought in for actual money. Very good marking and tackling, physically still very good. Even at 31, we're definitely going to get one good season out of him. He's here for 5 months. The player that got injured, who I'll show you in just a second, he's only out for that period of time, so we got him on loan from Rangers. You never know, we might keep him around for the whole season if we can do, and I think this might be one of his final seasons as a good player, very similar to Scott Burgess. But yeah, Kasonga. I like saying Kasonga. That does quickly take me then to our Spanish left back, Kevin Drury, who sounds Scottish, and we brought him in from Scotland. Physically pretty good, mentally and technically not too bad either, but suffered a broken lower leg, so hence we've had to move him out. Disappointing. When you spend 135,000 on someone, you want them to be able to play for you. Featured in one game, got injured, and that was the end of Kevin Drury. The next loanee is Pat Street, and this brings me to my new affiliation with, you might have heard of them, Manchester United. We now have a senior affiliate in Manchester United. It's about flipping time, isn't it? And yeah, not bad. We've managed to get one loanee from them this season. It came quite late in the transfer window, so I've done quite a lot of business. But yeah, Pat Street was the one player we went after. Central midfielder, can play as a box-to-box role, which we're going to use him as today. And yeah, physically very good, technically and mentally solid as well. Only at 18 years of age, could turn into an absolute superstar. And I'm privileged to have him play for me for now. And the final loanee, £6,000 a month they're paying as well for Alex Miller, and you can probably see why. Very quick, good strength, 6'2", very good off the ball and composure, finishing's fantastic, dribbling's very good, first touch of 13. let's hope he starts a game, because right now he's going to find it difficult, but I definitely have to get him involved at some point. Brought him from Wolves, of course. We've been to Wolves before for oh, who was it? What was his name? Oh God, Ben. Ashley Moult. That's it. That's Troy Ashley Moult. I remembered. I just thought of it. But yeah, Alex Miller, I think you'll agree, looks like a bit of a superstar. Could be very good. Passing's not the best. Work rate not so good. But as an advanced forward to play, if anything happens to our forward line, I like him a lot. Now, Rion Cummings. Now, I did mention Rion Cummings in a previous episode. We tried to sign him a couple of years ago when he went to Winsford on a free transfer after being released from Preston. Now, Winsford are a side that sort of burst up the divisions, got themselves into League One, and then suffered a relegation, and now maybe will head back down again. But Winsford signed him. And I was devastated at the time. He's now finally decided to release himself of his contract in League One last year. 7 goals, 7 assists. He's basically an upgrade, I think, on Paul Colton. And to get him on a free transfer, we're paying a lot of money in terms of wages. 2-year deal. If we find ourselves being able to attract a better player in this position, the fact he's worth over £2 million is ridiculous. So if we can sell him on, we may well do. But at 29, I think he's a great addition to the team. Kay Morris at right back, though, very, very solid. Physically fantastic. Great work rate. Teamwork's fantastic too. Marking and tackling, that's what I'm looking for, are okay. And 10 crossing is my minimum, really, required for a fullback at this club. 3-star player, 25 years of age. As I say, we brought him from Sheffield Wednesday after being released by them. Started his career at Southampton. Kane Morris, you'll see a lot of him. Paddy Lloyd, backup centre-back, 30 years old, Englishman. Physically still very good at 30, and actually has got some decent technical and mental attributes to his game as well. Aston Villa released him after loads of different transfers. We've picked him up. Tyler Davis. Now, Tyler Davis is our highest paid player, and similarly to our new striker Alex Morris, I don't know how much he's going to feature. It's kind of a strange one. Those two are our backups to Altidal and Tom George, and obviously we'll see throughout the season if they're relied upon. 23 years of age though. We've brought him in, 2-year deal. Again, another player that if it doesn't quite work out, I will look to sell on, but 6 foot tall. As I say, Middlesbrough released this guy, and we've picked him up. He's not really been prolific in his career so far. Had one very good season in League One with Crewe, but that was quite some time ago now, and he needs to get his career off the ground, and it may be Thames is the place for that. So yeah, we've got him on a lot of money, so there's a sort of need and want to play him. But yeah, I'm pleased to have him again. Might be sold at the end of the season, might be brilliant. So we'll have to wait and see. Andre Dozzell, now a player you will probably have heard of. He's 33 in game now, real life player. Starts his career at Ipswich. He's on Ipswich at the start of his career, and has been around a little bit. Rotherham, Fulham, Newcastle, Brighton, and Reading. Has been released at the tender age of 33 years of age. Physically not quite what he once was, but still technically and mentally very much up there. So we've brought him in. Determination's not great, and when you're looking for players to tutor others, he's not necessarily that player, but to come on late game, he's slightly better than Scott Burgess, I think, especially technically. I think he's a decent addition to have around the team. And our final free transfer is Conor O'Kelly, who is a backup right back. I won't go into any more detail. Now, we looked at Kevin Drury, the left back from Falkirk. Let's move on to our new goalkeeper. Of course, Gary Davis has gone to Norwich, and that was 7 days after we brought Sam Reed in from Norwich. I think a bit of an upgrade. Mentally, he's not completely fantastic. He's okay though, but the technicals and physicals on him, I think, are fantastic stuff. 6'2", great handling, good kicking, command of area, aerial reach as well, very good. And then physically, you can see great balance, great acceleration off his line, and his jumping reach not too bad either. Good strength as well for a goalkeeper. I think he's definitely the best goalkeeper you've had so far. He's our second highest paid player, and 275,000. He's conceded 13 in 5. It's a Fitzpatrick situation. We've conceded a lot of goals, but we've also scored a lot of goals. We'll show you now. After we've shown you Brian Parkin, who was another left back that we brought in a panicky fashion, and I regret everything. I don't want to talk about it. That's Brian Parkin. I panicked. We had a big injury. Panicked. I had not a good reason. We'll sell him at the end of the year. You saw that. You thought, oh, most expensive player in Thames history. Must be good. Oh, bollocks. The final bit of business actually we did was to bring in Renato Welter Wink, and I think that's how you'd say it. Wink, probably, just CK. We've brought him in. Well, he'll be arriving at some point. He'll actually be arriving in the new year, slightly before the arrival of the very exciting Ben Hur that we've been looking forward to seeing for quite some time now. Both come from Novo Hamburgo, which is a fantastic name for a team, and I think we might do a save with them next year. Not necessarily. But yeah, Ben Hur, of course, is coming in, and he's got a Brazilian friend now, and that's what I thought would be quite a good idea. They could both speak basic English as well, which is really good. And I think he looks rather decent. And here's all the players that we didn't sign and tried to. There's loads of them. So after all that, team-wise, this is how we're set up for today. A little bit of an issue. Joe Holmes, Keon Harris and Lawrence Smith unavailable. 2 on international duty. 1 injury for Lawrence Smith, so he won't feature. So we're a little bit different to what I was hoping for, but this is the system we're going with. You've seen it before. The attacking playmaker behind the 2 front men, Altidal and George, are supplying that. And let's talk about him. Altidal is back, people. Last season had a little bit of a quiet spell, but 10 goals in 5 games. He's back with a bang. And if you look at the Championship League table, it's worth noting, 9th in the league, 10 goals, 5 more than anybody else, and an average rating of 8.62. Hopefully we'll see a good performance from him today. And yeah, I mean, what a man. What a mighty good man. To all those people that have got Altidal on the back of their Thames shirts. Oh, that's a good enough reason. Thames shirts. You'll be pleased to know he's banging them in again, so good stuff. So start the season a bit indifferent. We did play Brentford on the opening day with a severely tired and not particularly strong side, and since then things have looked up. A 4-1 win over Crawley in the Carabao Cup, a 3-3 against Rotherham, which, well, I say it was good. They scored in the 84th and 90th, and I thought it was going to be one of those seasons after we lost the first game pretty badly. Rotherham, a team that I expect to beat, then got the best of us. We did, though, beat Fulham and Swindon. You can already see the theme of League One football that we played. Scoring goals, conceding lots as well. Altidal on the score sheet as they 4-2 and 4-3. Then a penalty shootout against Brighton, which was fantastic. There were so many goals scored in the game. 20 penalties scored, and we eventually took it. I don't know if it shows you what the final penalty scores were, but I think it was 20. I think it was 11-10. We won it. It was fantastic. And then a 2-2 more recently in its Leeds, where Altidal popped up in the 90th minute after being 2-0 down. We clawed it back and managed to get a point from the game. So not too bad at all. Today then, one game coming for you on my in-game birthday. Oh, actually, it's my real life birthday, but I would be a lot older. How old would I be there? 32. I mean, that's hang on. So I'd be 42 because that's easy maths. I'd be 42. Okay. Just to confirm that there, 42. Lovely. There's my manager profile, studying for the Continental Pro licence. We'll get there. Francis Jeffers hates me, which is fine because I hate him too. Okay, team then, and it's got some new names and new faces. Reed will be in goal, Morris, Edmund, Lloyd and Kasongo at the back, Dazelle, Street, McDonald, Cummings with Altidal and George up front. Lots of options on the bench now. Alex Miller, Adam Beard, Tyler Davis, of course, Stevie Foster, Andrew Murray, Connor O'Kelly and Lazaro still there as well, who has to be there because he's our only homegrown player. MC Clark's still here, I feel sorry for him. And the most expensive transfer in history doesn't even make the bench. That is a sad state of affairs. Okay, numbers have been handed out. Lovely stuff. Alex Miller, the new number 18. He wants it. And yeah, hopefully he has a good season. If he does, we'll obviously try and bring him in at the end of the year. But I'd like the look of him a lot. So for Pat Street. Pat Street could be great. Of course, we haven't got Pat Rogers. You might have noticed that. But we do have Pat Street. So the Pats live on. Is that going to have to be a theme? I'm going to have a Pat every single game from now on. Okay, playing Hull City, who are, I will say, are a decent side, so we'll have to do our best to beat them. Obviously, we've had a decent run against them. We've played them a lot in this series, especially on video. You can see they're 5th in the league, 11 points. We're on 9 points. It's going to be a big performance to get anything from today, especially without a few of our first team players featuring. Dazelle playing a slightly deeper role, playing for Lawrence Smith and Keon Harris, both injured. The nightmare scenario, but lovely football from Thames there. As Altidal nearly puts it into the back of the net, his pace is still a danger. Lovely work move though, wasn't it? That was really good. Bit of possession for Hull now. They find a ball down the channel. Lewis is on a goal and flipping heck, he didn't think twice, did he? Tony Lewis, first chance of the game for Hull, and they smash it in the back of the net. We're not going to be so fluid. We're going to be a bit more flexible. I mean, that looked very easy, that finish, and we're conceding goals again, but hopefully scoring enough as well as Lewis goes through. Not even a save from Reed there. It wasn't like Davis was a fantastic goalkeeper, Gary Davis, so I don't feel too bad about letting him go, especially for some money as well. I did ask for some more transfer budget from the board. 4 days to go of the window, though, so it wasn't great timing. And all the players I went for basically said no, so that, again, wasn't great. And possession for us here, though, as Dazelle plays it out to Street, who doesn't quite find his intended pass, and it does very well to get back, though, and win it back. Lloyd and Edmund. This is the first time they've played at the back together, so I'm a little bit nervous to see how they get on, as it goes back to Reed, who looks to fire this forward. Does he? He does. He looks for the run of Tom George, maybe. The ball bounces. It goes all the way through to Booth, and I don't know why we're watching this. Again, that ball down the line. Lewis is on it once again. We've seen it before. Straight across the goal. And Hull are giving us a bit of a battering. Now, the expectations for this season, I would love to be in this sort of 5th to 9th conversation. That's where I'd like to be in, and I'm not sure. I don't know, like, the problem I've got early season, I don't know how good Hull are. Like, if they carry on like this, you would suspect they might be back up there. They've been a Premier League team before. They've certainly got the money to be a Premier League team again. It's difficult. Bit of possession for us. In possession, we've looked really good. We just haven't created a real clear-cut opportunity. As Altidal finally finds his way through. 11 for the season. Of course it is. Severe Altidal with it. There we go. 2-1 back in the game, and he is playing fantastically this season. The fact he's not been capped by Norway yet is a disgrace. I'd love to know if there's a striker in world football that scored more than him in the last 3 seasons. I doubt it, in terms of Norwegians, I should say. Finishes it off nicely, 2-1, back in the game a little bit. We're on control. There is a temptation to go more attacking, but for now, we'll stay as we are. Free kick, Cummings to take it. We've got plenty of men back if they break, but Cummings will take the free kick and get on it again. If he can put it into the middle. He's beaten to the ball, though, and now Scales, ball on the line, could be dangerous. To go inside, it's a bit risky, but Lewis, the goal scorer earlier on, does quite well. Plays it back to Hogg, and now Hull get a chance to bring this forward, and a great ball down the line again. We're beating him behind every time. Bradbury ball in, and Lewis is nabbed in. I'm not really sure how Edmonds got beaten to that, but I guess we'll look at it in 3 dimensions. This ball down the line, in behind our back line, is causing all sorts of problems, and then it's played across. Somehow he just gets a foot in, does he? Just shoots through Edmund, which is a bit strange. So half-time, not a good performance from the Thames boys, if we're completely honest, and work to be done. I've told them we need a much better showing in the second half. Regardless of that, we're going to go more attacking. I'm going to go for this a little bit more. It's not been a good half. We're going to mix up the passing slightly as well. Try and move it forward slightly quicker. I'm going to actually move Dazelle into a more central area because he's not as natural in that defensive role. And I think that might be having a little impact. As well, the protection in front of the back line is not really working. So let's get him creating. Let's get him a little further forward. Let's try and dominate the ball a bit more. Like, we've had more possession, but it's not really been effective possession so far. Tom George is having a bit of a shocker as well. I'm not going to waste any time when you've got 2 options. Tyler Davis or Alex Miller. We're going to go with Alex Miller for this first time. Give him a debut. We'll see how he gets on. Street, though, plays it forward towards Tom George, who's coming off, and, well, that's why, I guess. Massive opportunity. 4 clear-cut chances for us in the game, more than them, I think. I think they've had 3, maybe, and scored every single one. 15 minutes to go. Time has ticked away like nobody's business. Altidal, since the goal, has done very little, so Davis is going to come on for him, and Stevie Foster for McDonald in the centre. We're going to make all of the changes we've got at our disposal. 4 yellow cards for the back line. That's a little bit scary. We've had 4 clear-cut chances to their 2. And we're losing 3-1. That sort of sums up the day, really. We're back on the ball, though. Street plays it towards Davis, although Hull look pretty comfortable. They're knocking it around the back like nobody's business, too. A through ball here could be dangerous as we try and cover in this left-back area. Ball chip forward. Bradbury's there. It seems inevitable, doesn't it? And it is inevitable. 4-1. Getting plastered here. What a disappointment. Frustrating because in our last game, we came back and did really well to get a point against Leeds. And now today we're playing Hull. They are dishing it out, aren't they? And that'll be time then. Thames 1, Hull 4. I hate this because after a transfer window, this is never a good look for the team. But what can you do? Hull obviously a better side. Tony Lewis there, 3 goals. Doesn't look all that special, does he really? I was expecting a lot more, but he is worth 7 million, I guess. But is he any better than some of the boys we just brought in, really? I've just brought in Alex Miller. Yeah, he's significantly better, isn't he? Apart from maybe shooting. I mean, mentally, he's got so much more to his game. I guess that's part of it. Well, that is going to bring us to the end of today's episode. A bit disappointing. Hopefully, next time out, it's not too disappointing. I don't know whether we're going to bring you the cup game. I guess I don't expect to beat Middlesbrough, but if we do, we'll do the 4th round maybe and team that with a game in the league. We'll see what happens. Not a great start for Thames, really. We're doing okay without being spectacular, but it could be a very similar season to last, of sort of a bit of mid-table mediocrity, but hopefully we can drive on. Altidal still in the goals. It's going to be, can we score more than you? And we'll have to find out. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like. If you want to see some more, subscribe to the channel, and we'll live with care. I will see you tomorrow for more. Yes, tomorrow.